Corruption means drugs that should be freely available have to be purchased on the black market instead. It means paying hundreds of dollars more than the official rate for a passport because a bribe is required. Corruption in Iraq today means your children may be learning from a teacher whose only qualification was having enough money to buy the job. They told me, you can get a job in any school you choose for $1,000, says this woman, adding she was promised her official appointment from the Ministry of Education would come within a week. She couldn't afford it. If Iraqis can't afford it, can U.S. taxpayers afford to ignore it? This 82-page draft report prepared by the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad and leaked to the media says the Iraqi government is doing virtually nothing to root out corruption. It says, quote, several ministries are so controlled by criminal gangs or militias as to be impossible to operate without a tactical force protecting the investigator. The State Department says no one should be surprised there is corruption amid all the other crises in Iraq. When CNN received the report, it was marked sensitive but unclassified. But the State Department has since moved to classify the draft. Its findings are stunning. The Interior Ministry, untouchable by anti-corruption enforcement. The Ministry of Defense, where nearly $1 billion may be missing, and corruption investigations are judged to be ineffectual. The report said the Ministry of Defense showed a shocking lack of concern over missing money. Militia infiltration of ministries is common. The report says the reputation of the Ministry of Health is poor and openly under the control of the Mehdi army of Muqtada al-Sadr. And it continues. Military sources have reported that the Mehdi army finances operations from diverted medicines. How can they get away with it? The report says the problem is top-down. The Prime Minister's office has demonstrated an open hostility to an independent agency to investigate or prosecute corruption cases. Iraqi officials respond that while the report may portray the situation a year ago, the government is trying.
I do agree that we have a high level of corruption. But at the same time, I do agree that there is steps and measures being taken by the Prime Minister to defeat and to reduce that level of corruption on a high level.
The embassy draft report states that Iraq's oil sector has the most glaring reputation for the sheer amount of money misappropriated, and much of it may be going to fund the insurgency. But it also says the records are so incomplete, it's beyond the investigators' ability to even estimate the gross amount of theft. Whatever the corruption report says, it may take an ordinary Iraqi to put it into perspective. Corruption is the second problem in Iraq after terrorism, this man told us. In fact, he stressed, it is terrorism itself. This draft report, more than embarrassing because it shows just how dysfunctional the Iraqi government has been. It will make for depressing reading back in Washington for an administration desperate for Iraqis to run their own country. Jim Clancy, CNN, Baghdad.